What's good, YouTube? Nova here.
And it's Quasar, and today we're going to be bringing you staples that can be fit in any deck.
Alright, starting it off, we got Effect Veiler. So, Effect Veiler is basically an in-hand breakthrough skill. When your opponent summons a monster or tries to activate a monster effect,
You can just discard it and negate that monster's effect.
and its effect can only be used on your opponent's turn. So,
It's a good card for any deck. Next is going to be another hand trap, Max C. You can discard that card anytime your opponent special summons a monster. You get to draw one card.
it forces your opponent, if they want to go aggressive that turn, to just stop and not give you so many pluses. Alright, number 3, we got Gores. Gores, basically, you can drop them from hand whenever you take, what was it, damage?
Any damage, whether it be battle or card effect. If it were battle damage, you get to summon a token, and that token's attack is equal to the damage you took. Or if it's effect damage, you special summon it, and your opponent takes that same amount of damage back. So it's good for stopping OTKs.
Alright. That's it for monsters. We can only think of really 3 monsters. Everything else is going to be archetype specific. Alright, moving into spells.
We play Regeki. Regeki is like one of your most basic spells that can go in any deck. It just simply destroys all monsters your opponent controls.
It's good if you've already gone off. You can just kill your opponent when they try to go off on your board. Alright, next we're playing Dark Hole.
Similar to Regeki, but it destroys all monsters on the field, so you gotta be careful when activating it because it would destroy your monsters as well.
Yeah. Next up we got Book of Moon.
Book of Moon's really good because it can stop chains. You can use it defensively. There are so many different ways you can use Book of Moon, and it's such a good tech for any deck.
Alright, next up we got Mystical Space Typhoon. It basically is your way of getting rid of those new pendulums. So it helps with that. Also, back row is all big problem. So, yeah. Next up we got Soul Charge. It's kind of like Monster Reborn, because
Except on steroids, but with the downfall of you gotta pay 1,000 life points for each monster returned.
and then you lose your battle phase. So it's not as good as Monster Reborn, but it can summon more monsters. So that's it for spells.
Moving on to traps.
Moving on to traps.
We have ourselves what we call the Fantastic Four. First is Solemn Warning.
Basically, Solemns, whenever your opponent would summon a monster or activate a spell or a trap that would summon a monster, you can pay 2,000 life points to negate and destroy that card.
It even gets around Jinzo.
Alright, next up we got Bottomless Trap Hole. This card is probably the biggest for getting around pendulums right now. But also, it's restricted to only 1,500 or more attack. Can sometimes be bad, but a lot of times it's better than none.
Yeah, you usually want to use it when they summon a big monster, and that monster would be banished instead of being sent to the graveyard.
Next up we got Churchill Tribute. This card's kind of like Dark Hole in a way, but more for a trap form. It's like whenever a monster is summoned, you get to destroy all monsters on the field.
And again, you also want to be cautious of when you activate it because, again, it destroys all monsters.
Alright.
And the final Fantastic Four, we have Compulsory Evacuation device. Simply just target a monster on the field and return it to the hand.
This card can be used offensively or defensively, because you can bounce your own monster to hand and then and then you can gain its effect again. So that's pretty cool. But then also, if your opponent goes into an extra deck monster, you can bounce that extra deck monster back. Alright, next up we got
Mirror Force, one of my favorite trap cards of all time. I love seeing my opponents run into Mirror Force because if your opponent declares an attack, all you need to do is activate that and it destroys all attack position monsters your opponent controls.
Especially with seeing this card less in use this format, it's a big surprise when your opponent finds it. Alright, next up, we have a card that's equally as good as Mirror Force, and that's D Prison. It's not as good because it doesn't destroy all monsters your opponent controls, but it does banish at least one, which is a little bit better than sending it sometimes to the graveyard. But yeah, that's about it. And last but not
card.
least, Vanities Emptiness.
Vanities is another extremely good trap that can be put into any deck. Vanities, when it's activated, neither player can special summon. So you'd want to go off, and then you'd set this card, and then if your opponent's about to go off, you can just activate that and stop them cold in their tracks.
This card is really good in decks that don't special summon a lot, just like Boojins.
Anyways, those are all of our staple cards. Remember to like, comment, subscribe.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Young